Listen, everybody needs a fairy godmother, just somebody to look out for them. Some people call me their fairy smoke mother, others their internet big sister, but you can call me Hannah, the host of Smoke Sash. So come hang out, let's light up and talk everything there is to life. The good, the bad, the ugly, the embarrassing. I've got a story for it all. Good morning, hotties of the world, and welcome back to another beautiful, sexy, lovely episode of Smoke Sesh. My name is Hannah, your host, and I am so very excited to have you guys here today. We got a fun episode planned for you all. My brain has kind of been on overdrive recently. Thank you, Virgo season. Hey, Virgos. You know what? Let's go ahead and talk about that, and then I'll get into what I've been up to, because I feel like Virgo season has really hit me over the fucking head, like bonked me with a rock and scrambled my brains in a way that I am really appreciating, because wow, am I getting my shit together. Last week I talked about how, I was going to go to a Pilates class and I was a little nervous. I haven't worked out for a while. Not only did I go to one Pilates class, I went to two. When I haven't worked out and maybe actually been to a workout class, let me think about it. I don't think I've been to a sit down in front of people workout class since high school. Babe, that was I can't even do the math, but over 5 years ago. I haven't done a workout like that in over 5 years, and all of a sudden I'm going to 2 classes in a week. Hello, what mental illness has taken over my brain? It's the Virgo mental illness, okay? Which we are in the sign of Virgo. Hi, my Virgo babies, from August 22nd till September 22nd. And this is a great time, especially if you're going back to school. This time, all of our brains have kind of switched into hyper-focused, hyper thinking about the small things, about who we are and who we want to be, and how do we garner that within our own lives. This is not a time to think about the big picture. The big picture is too far away. It's going to stress you out. By thinking about the big picture, you're going to be overthinking, trying to figure out, how do I jump there? How do I just get to the big picture thing, when in reality that's not how that works. You don't get to the big picture by running towards it. The big picture comes to you by hyper focusing on the small things around you and the details, and really making sure that they're correct. So for a long time I've been on this health journey. In reality, it's just me getting up from the fucking couch every once in a while. Not really a health journey, but babe, we're trying. And I sat down with myself last week, probably as soon as Virgo season started, and I was like, okay, babe, listen, you tell all these people, go work out, you'll feel better. You do work out in some sort of capacity. It's just maybe not as much as you would like. I do a little 10-minute routine every day. Listen, that's a great starting point. Proud of you. Keep it going. But how can we push ourselves a little bit more? How can we really focus on the details and really bring them into reality? Create that dream reality that we want to live. Get the big picture idea closer. And I was like, fuck it. Let me join ClassPass. Let me go try a bunch of classes and fuck it. Let's just see how it goes. And you guys, it was so fun. I mean, my body has never been that sore in my entire life. Probably since I played high school soccer. Wow, I was so sore. But also it really showed me damn, I'm weak. I'm really weak. And having your muscles be sore and feeling them strengthen and pushing through a hard workout is so gratifying. Watch me become a gym bro. Oh my God, watch me start snorting lines of pre-workout and powerlifting for 4 hours every day. I mean, that's what my dad does. And I thought it was mental illness, but now I'm realizing no, you feel so good after a workout. The endorphins are flowing. You feel great about yourself. You feel stronger, both physically and mentally. You're getting a rush of these positive chemicals flooding your brain and your body, and it is so nice. I actually have another class planned tomorrow, and it has been a really nice change in my life, but I've also been making a lot of these changes. Like I said, Virgo season, focusing on the details, really getting the details in order to make sure that big picture idea of who we want to become actually becomes reality, such as deep cleaning my house every day and making sure I'm actually doing my laundry and folding it and putting it away, making sure I am doing things correctly, not half-assed. I think a lot of people think Virgos are a little hypercritical, a little nitpicky, a little, over the edge sometimes. Virgos are the group leader that is running your little group in class for a group project. Do you know what I mean? That's like the idealized Virgo in my head. Like they're in charge, they're making sure the details are correct. Everybody else around them could be a hot fucking mess, but they are going to sit down and take the time to make sure that everything is in order, everything is lined up, everything is perfect. Virgo person in your brain, when you think about like the details and the importance of it, is like Beyonce. Think about how much work she puts into the details to create this conglomerate of like an idea of who she is. And it really is all the little details that make her such an amazing performer, artist, and the fact that she just gets everything correct and is really, really inspired and motivated by the details and getting them correct. We're all kind of stepping into our little Beyonce era for the next month, okay? And this energy is perfect, especially for school. When our brains are a little scatterbrained and maybe we're starting new classes, we're getting back into education, maybe we're just trying new things, little hobbies, bringing them back into our lives. This is a perfect time to do so. This is the time where you're like, okay, if I want to become a dream person, if I want to become this idealized version, this big picture idea of who I am in my head, now is the time to start like acting on it. The stars have aligned. This season is perfect for doing so. We have exited like egotistical drama Leo season, and we have entered like thoughtful, appreciative, hyper-focused Virgo season. So utilize that energy the most that you can, because this is a really great time and I'm very excited. I think I'm going to create a lot of fun things. I've been working on like my art portfolio. I've been working on some fun things for you guys. I'm leaving next week. Oh God, I actually have to pre-record now that I'm thinking about it. I'm leaving next week to go to Austin, Texas. So I'll have a vlog up from that, hopefully the week after. But lots of fun things planned for you guys, big picture ideas hopefully coming into play. So stay tuned to hear about that. But I hope you had a great weekend. I hope you had a great week. This transition has been really nice. I've really just been at home, organizing, rearranging, making sure my life is in order. I really didn't do a whole lot this week. It's been a pretty chill week. It's actually still 105 degrees outside. How is this still happening? It is the last push of summer. Virgo season is the last sign of summer, so let's take advantage of it while we can. For me, that included yesterday, my boyfriend started a new job today, so yesterday I took the day off work. I have such a bad habit of doing that, but listen, we only live once, you know what I mean? So I took the day off work and then we went up to this orchard and winery in like North Missouri, and we went apple picking and we tried some wine, and we were like walking through the orchard like Adam and Eve, picking fresh apples off the vines and like feeding them to each other. It was very romantic, very cutesy. We love doing activities like that. So we did that, and then we stopped by like a little flea market. I bought my first ever cast iron skillet. Oh my God, I'm in my Nara Smith era. Very excited to cook in it. I've been looking for one for a while, but they're just expensive. Oh my God, they're expensive. I was like, I need a used one, please and thank you. And then I went out to dinner with my friends. When I tell you my TikTok feed is only that Jelly Bean Sweets girls doing mukbangs, love her endlessly, but my God, the hunger that it initiates in my body is a little psycho cuckoo bananas. So I saw her Chili's triple dipper mukbang and I was like, I need to be there right now. So we went and we got to our Chili's triple dippers. We had 2 jumbo margaritas, too many. Those margaritas had me fucked up. And then me and my friends, we've had this like, ritual since high school where it's like, what's something chill and relaxing you can do no matter where you are? Get super high and go to the movies. So that's kind of been our routine ever since we were in middle school, honestly. It's just like, let's go get some food, let's go rip the dab pen, and then let's go see a movie. We saw Don't Blink Twice, or Blink Twice, whatever it is. Blink Twice? I think that's what it's called. The new Channing Tatum, Zoe Kravitz movie. I think it was her directorial debut. Honestly, trigger warning, pretty fucking triggering, but fantastic. Great horror movie, incredible. I call it horror because I'm a woman, but I think if men watched it, they would call it a psychological thriller. Do you understand the pieces I'm picking up here? It's giving Epstein Island. So trigger warning, but honestly, I saw that movie and it was great. And the week before we went and saw Cuckoo with Hunter Schafer. She's great. She can do no wrong. Unfortunately, the writers really fucked that one up. But between the two, if I were going to pick two or pick between the two, I would pick Blink Twice to go see. It was great. It was fantastic. Channing Tatum had me swooning, but also like terrified the whole time. It was a new feeling that I've never felt from him, because honestly, I've only ever seen him in whatever the male stripper movie is. You know what I'm talking about. But great little Sunday evening, fantastic night. Mondays are kind of my Sundays where I'm regrouping, resetting, my intentions for the week. So I'm going to hang out with you guys today, chit chat a little bit. I'm also an idiot and I forgot to post the questionnaire for the week. I'm so sorry. But I do have a lot of little things that I have seen you guys DM me about or ask about, and there's questions that I still want to answer from last week. So we do have plenty of content and topics to talk about. This is going to be a little bit more intuition based of an episode though. So let me know if my intuition is on. Let me know if what I say is connecting with the collective here. But honestly, my intuition is usually pretty on point, so I'm excited to get into it. With that being said, not much else to catch you guys up on, so let's get into your questions. Last week was kind of the back to school episode where I covered, school and classes and friendships and partying and all that. But the one thing I didn't cover was sex in college, which I think is very important because someone asked like first hookups as a freshman. Oh my God, I almost dropped my phone. And this is actually a topic that I think is very important to talk about because please, my God, we don't get any sexual education in this country. Let's be honest. It is abstinence or nothing. They are not teaching you how to be safe, understand consent, take care of yourself, watch out for you and your friends. So let's just dive right in. You know what I mean? When I went to school as a freshman, I was starting at a Catholic school. Catholic school. So best believe none of the people that I was in school with had any sexual experiences at all. I had a little bit. I lost my virginity like the summer before freshman year, and I was consistently hooking up with this guy the summer before freshman year. So I had a little bit of experience, but best believe that little bit was way more than anybody around me had experienced at all. And all of these kids, basically, like all of these freshmen were losing their mind. They were fucking and sucking wherever they could. When I tell you Catholic school kids are the craziest, it's like they're locked behind a cage and then they get set free and they just go out and they make the most insane decisions I have ever seen in my entire life. The sexual wellness of yourself and the people around you are very important. Also, going to a Catholic school, they did not believe in birth control. They did not believe in protection. They did not believe in anything like that. I remember the first week or so we were there, the RAs really tried to help us out and like started putting condoms in the bathrooms, and the school took them out of the bathrooms and was like, no, we don't do that here. We actually don't have sex here. We don't allow that here. Do not have sex, and if you do get pregnant, you have to keep the baby. Like, that was the mindset behind my school, which was very scary, especially coming from like a pretty liberal background, to see and view, especially all of these people who have no sexual experience or conversations happening, to have no protection and to not have their school back them up or want them to be safe. That was terrifying. So let me have the older sister talk with you that I think everybody needs. I did not have this. My parents never talked to me about any of this. I think they just assumed I would know. Hello, obviously not. So let me have that older sister talk with you right now. Here's the thing. You are deserving of pleasure. I think that's the first thing we should start off with. I think especially as young women, when we approach sex early on, we view like virginity and like sex as like something that is like a title that we want wiped away. Like it feels a little too heavy. So we kind of put aside, the pleasure aspect of it all in order to remove that iconography that we as young women have placed on us, which is so pressurized and so scary. Like, chill. It's okay. Do it at your own pace. Don't rush anything. Don't say yes to appease other people. Say no if you're uncomfortable. Stand up for yourself and understand you deserve pleasure. Okay, that's what sex is all about. Sex is all about pleasure. As long as you are gaining pleasure and your partner is also gaining pleasure and you're doing it safely and consensually, I have no problems, okay? But also, best believe those STDs are running rampant in those schools. The STD cases at my Catholic college, once again, no condoms in the bathroom. Oh, you would never guess. Of course, the STD statistics were crazy high. I didn't catch nothing because I wasn't fucking any of them. But my God, the amount of like friends and stuff that I saw have to go like get treatment. I'm like, girl, please, like throw rubber on. Throw rubber on, have a conversation with your partner. It's okay to do so. In fact, I highly encourage it. You should do a little bit of vetting before you go hook up with a random stranger who could possibly get you pregnant. I think that is just, bare minimum here. Like, it's okay to ask them, hey, did you sleep with someone right before me? Did you get tested? Do you want to do this? Are you going to get me off? Things like that. It's okay to ask those questions. It's okay to inquire about your sexual safety. And I highly encourage you to do so, especially as a woman. Okay. We go through so much. We feel so pressured. Put the pressure back on them. Okay. Take the pressure off yourself and put it back on them. And I understand you're going to have these hookups. You're going to have these random makeout sessions. And that's okay. That's a part of growing and living and learning, especially as a new college student. But please, for the love of God, be safe, wear protection, be on birth control, have some sort of plan A so you don't have to indulge in plan B. I had one friend in college who no birth control, was fucking and sucking every night, took plan B every day. Please do not do that. That will fuck up your brain. It will. It'll fuck up your brain. It'll fuck up your hormones. You will be so genuinely sad. Your body will have no idea what's going on. Plan B is plan B for a reason. I mean, use it if you need to, but it's called plan B because it's not called plan A. It's not plan A. We do not use that as birth control. We do use it as, oopsies, I got to protect myself somewhere. But please have a plan A in place. Please wear a condom. Please talk to your partners. And please seek pleasure. If you look at this man and genuinely think is he going to get me off? Genuinely ask yourself that. Is he just trying to get off, or is he going to make this a good experience for me? If you look at this man and you're like, he doesn't have a clue in the world what's going on. He's not going to get you off, okay? No need to engage. Feel free to leave. Feel free to say no. And most importantly, don't let people pressure you. If you go to college parties, don't be fucking stupid. Don't take random drinks. Hold on to your drink all night. Don't drink the jungle juice. Please, for the love of God, don't drink the jungle juice at the frat houses. Make sure you're going with a friend. And yeah, overall, just stay safe. I think safety for women is it's definitely one of the number one things we should be focusing on, especially when it comes to sexual safety. And I think we kind of overlook it a lot in the need to appease that urge within ourselves or maybe someone else. When in reality, girl, fuck them. You know what I mean? Buy a vibrator if you really need to get off that bad. It's okay to take your time and really vet these people in order to make sure that you're having a good time. Okay. Older sister Hannah here telling you, stay safe, have fun, gain pleasure, but also have a backup plan. Please, for the love of God, stress these men out a little bit. Ask those hard questions. Hey, have you been tested? They will look at you like, what? And if they do, best believe you're not sticking that thing inside me. Okay. Someone asked, what do you do when your ex sends you a dick pic? I don't know. Call the police? I'm just kidding. Why is he not blocked? That's my only question. I mean, unless you're getting back into it, which, hey, I talk about this a lot. Don't get back with your ex, give yourself time, space in between. And I think that's pretty valid. Maybe not the don't get back with your ex part, but if you break up for a reason, whether you were getting broken up with or not, or you did the breaking up, take that time away. Don't just string each other along. It's going to be really hard for you guys to find your individuality again. And if you're really truly meant for each other, you will take that time apart, find your individuality, and somehow find your way back to each other, even though you've been no contact for however many months or years. That's what I mean by like, yeah, sure, you can maybe get back with your ex, but like, don't text them once a week. Don't send them nudes randomly. You know what I mean? First of all, no one wants to see a random dick. Ever. That is the world's biggest jump scare. Actually, probably the world's smallest jump scare. But still, like, no one wants to see that. And if you're an ex sending that, sketch. That's sketch as hell. What are some signs you need to ghost someone? I don't agree with ghosting anybody. I am an over communicator. And I've learned over communicating, especially when it's hard, is the most important. And listen, I've been a horrible person. I've ghosted people before. The only times I've really ever ghosted somebody is if you're being like overtly creepy and fucking weird. Okay, like you don't deserve human rights. Like if you're being a fucking weirdo creep, like you're gonna stalk me outside with a knife kind of energy, best believe I'm blocking you on everything with no warning. Okay, and that's what you deserve. But most people are not like that. Most people are just like, you know, maybe they're just not my type. Maybe we're just not clicking. They keep reaching out and I don't really want to text back. It's so much easier to just never respond again. But also like, sometimes it's okay to just like speak your truth and be like, I don't think this is gonna work. And I think that's the kinder approach. I think that approach is, you know, respected a little bit more from both parties by simply just being like, hey, not you, not me, but also it's just not gonna work, you know? Sorry, I'm busy. Sorry, not interested. Have a good life. Hope someone reaches out soon so you stop reaching out to me. Like, I think it's okay to just speak what's on your mind, and especially if it's like, you know, no harm no foul, just wrong vibes. I think the best way to go about it, especially to avoid the weirdo behavior, is just to be like, hey, it's not gonna work out, thanks for the experience, bye, and then block and move on. That's like kind of like a subtle ghosting, I would say, but at least they have some sort of closure so they don't go fucking insane. Now, if they are a weirdo creep, feel free to ghost and block and move on. I think that's okay. Someone said, I love being the main character of my life. Okay, I want to talk about this. I'm the main character. I'm the, you know, the main person. Listen, no. Main character is out. Narrator is in. Okay, I feel like this idea of like, oh, I'm the main character, that like brain rot that really seeped into everybody's minds from TikTok, made everybody egotistical, selfish, unkind, uncompassionate, and really self-focused and self-identified. When in reality, like, we are a collective. We have to understand that our actions have consequences. Our actions have effects on other people. You're not just the main character who can run off and do crazy things and have it have no effect. Like, that's just not reality. You know what I mean? And I think it really caused a lot of people to hurt a lot of people from that mindset. And most importantly, hurt themselves from that mindset. I think it caused a lot of people to enact in behaviors in quote unquote main character ways that were actually self-sabotage, that were not the safest choice to make, that was, you know, not the kindest choice to make to that person. But, you know, in the sake of, well, I'm the main character, fuck it, did so anyways. And I think honestly, the more I think about it, the more harmful that ideology is. I don't want to be the main character. I want to be the narrator. I want to be the writer. And the fact is, every single one of us are more so of a narrator than we are a main character. The narrator is the healed version of ourselves, taking control of our lives, taking accountability, rewriting, and moving forward. The main character is the side of ourselves that is self-indulgent, that is egotistical, that is a little bit more crazy than maybe we would have liked. And I think through that, you know, main character ideology, we engaged in a lot of maybe self-depreciating behavior, negative self-talk, and really just indulgences in emotions that maybe we should just let go and moved on from. One of those thought processes for me was negative self-talk and hating on myself and, oh, I'm not good enough because I'm not the main character. I'm not special enough because I'm not doing all these crazy things. I'm not traveling the world. I'm not being indulgent in these probably self-depreciating ways. Negative self-talk will ruin your life And it did ruin mine. It sent me into a spiral of depression for years that was very hard to climb out of. But one of the biggest things I did that saved my life was stop engaging in negative self-talk. I grew up in the early internet days where it was cool to think you were lame and the self-hate was rampant, even in joking ways. When you're a teenager, there's always a little bit of nihilism and lots of lows due to hormones skyrocketing. It's normal. So it's a behavior that's really, really easy to indulge on. When you engage in negative self-talk, you are defining who you are as a person, whether it's a joke or not. We are the narrators of our own lives, and a lot of that has to do with the way you speak, especially with the way you speak about yourself. When you define yourself as something, you believe it. But you're also convincing other people that you are that thing. I'm stupid, I'm fat, I'm ugly. All the hate that you pour on yourself, people are eventually going to get tired of reassuring you and saying, no, you're not that thing. And they're going to start believing it as well. It doesn't matter if you believe that thing or not, whether it's factually true or not. When you engage in self-demeaning and hateful ways, especially self-talk, you are writing the narrative of your life and setting yourself up for failure. Be intentional about who you want to become. Okay? The narrator speaks things into existence. When we act on behaviors without thinking them through or without speaking intentions, we're going to engage in a lot of negative behaviors, a lot of very random, sporadic behaviors that'll have us sitting here thinking 10 years later, why the fuck did I do that? I look back on my early 20s, which was a very chaotic, crazy time where I was very much so acting in main character ways, and best believe it was some of the most stressful, anxiety-inducing years of my life. I had substance abuse issues. I had relationship problems. I was in abusive relationships. And the whole time, I'm the main character though, like spotlight, egotistical. Who cares? I'm just going to keep doing crazy things and keep acting this way. And the main character, it always works out for them eventually. Babe, no, it doesn't. No, it does not. Especially when you're engaging in self-depreciating behavior. You need to speak your life into existence. The way you speak about yourself, about the world around you, about who you want to become, defines the life you live. The actions do, of course, but taking the time to really take a step back and think and then direct your actions and your words forward will get you so much further than being in the main character egotistical mindset. Okay? We are the narrator of our lives. We are the ones who speak life into existence. And I would much rather be the narrator who takes her time and really thinks about things before speaking and only speaks positively and creates a positive mindset than the person who has no thought or clue what's going on, but they're out doing the craziest things, so they must be living their best life. No. And I know this is not true because I was miserable doing so. Do not be the main character. You don't want to be the main character. Be the narrator. Define your life. Understand what kind of life you want to live. Speak that into existence. People will believe you. I think a lot of the whole thing of like fake it till you make it confidence is the way that we project ourselves outwardly, people will pick up on, And if you're thoughtful about the way you project yourself, people will believe that and stand beside it and fully understand it. So if you're speaking into existence, I'm a mess, I'm crazy, I'm insane, I'm sad, I'm a bad person, blah, blah, blah. If you're telling people these things and constantly telling yourself these things, you're going to start believing it, whether it's true or not. Same thing with confidence. I'm ugly, I'm fat, I'm blah, 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 all these self-depreciating behaviors. If you say these things, people are going to believe them. You're going to believe them, whether it's true or not, because you have now defined yourself that way. Fake it till you make it confidence comes from this idea of who cares if you don't have it? You can be the narrator of your life. Whether you are these things or not, I'm beautiful, I'm worthy, I'm deserving of good things, I am loved. If you speak these things, people will believe you. People pick up on the subconscious all the time. And the way that you project yourself to the world does truly matter. So don't behave in these like self-depreciating main character behaviors that people will probably judge you on. And behave in ways that set you up for success, that define your life in a positive light, and that really supports a healthy, understanding of yourself to the world around you that people will love and appreciate. Define yourself how you want. Ultimately, that is up to us. But do understand that you have a choice. The way you think about yourself and the world around you, we always have a choice in doing so. And the way you define yourself to you and the world around you will have a great impact on where you end up in the future. So keep those positive affirmations going. Do not engage in negative self-talk, especially to people around you. Oh my God. Quickest way to change the narrative is what people think about you. And people can only think so much about you based on how you act and set yourself up. I mean, people are going to be haters no matter what. That's fine. That's whatever. They just don't get it. But 90% of the population, if you set yourself up for success by being like, you know what, I am a good person. I am hot. I am sexy. I do hold that confidence in myself. Even if you don't, but subconsciously you're projecting it outwards, other people are going to pick up on that and truly believe it as well. So who do you want to be defined by? What do you want to become? What do you want people to see you as? Set that intention, write the narrative, be the narrator. Cher once said, all of us have invented ourselves. Some of us just have more imagination than others. The choices you make will dictate the life you live. Life comes from you, not at you. Okay, someone asked, intuition versus anxiety. To be honest, a lot of my thinking is a lot of like voices speaking at one time. Yes, I'm insane. The voices, help me. But for a long time, I thought I was supposed to differentiate between the voices and choose the correct one, which caused a lot of anxiety when they're all basically yelling as loud as they possibly can in my head, like, pick me, no, they're wrong, no, pick me. Like, I thought I was supposed to sort through all these thoughts like a file and somehow close my eyes and pick the right one. And that's impossible to do when all of these thoughts are just so overwhelmingly loud. The thing is, none of these thoughts are the correct thought. They're just thoughts. There is no right, there is no wrong. It is just an idea passing through your brain. Sure, these thoughts can lead you down a great path of success, but the path is paved by intuition. Intuition is not a thought. It's a feeling, okay? Specifically, a feeling that quiets down all the voices, not raises them up. Anxiety is loud, maddening, overwhelming, all-consuming. When I have serious bouts of anxiety, I have spent weeks, sometimes months, hyperfixated and thinking about the same idea. If you are trying to decipher between intuition versus anxiety, ask yourself which one brings a sense of calmness. That's the correct path, the correct thought. Intrusive thoughts are not the messengers, okay? And this idea really helped me kind of especially like slow down and process in the moment when anxiety gets so overwhelming, because literally I have spent months and years living in so much anxiety that it's like, I'm sure I'm going to class and I'm going to work, whatever, I'm having conversations with people, but as I'm looking these people in the eye for months and years, in the back of my head, it is a constant, ever streaming flow of just anxiety and overwhelming thought. You do not deserve to live that way, okay? You deserve to be free from that anxiety. And the way I broke free from it was simply asking myself these things as, is this calming me? I mean, obviously not, but like, this is not the right thought pattern to engage in because it is just overwhelming me and sending me into a spiral. This is not intuition. This is anxiety. Intuition is calming. It feels like you're sitting beside an ocean listening to the waves crash. The same way that will make your thoughts slow down and calm down. Intuition is the exact same way. It's a feeling, it's not a thought. You're not trying to pick the correct thought. Overanalyzing these thoughts and overthinking these thoughts is going to cause you even more anxiety. To understand which thought is worth it, ask yourself, how does it make you feel? Is it making you feel like, even if it is like a little bit of a scary thought, is there a sense of calmness behind it? Is there a sense of understanding behind it? Is there a sense of peace behind it? That is the right thought to engage in. If there's not, it's okay to just let your thoughts be thought, especially when it comes to like intrusive thoughts, which I have a lot of. And I think it's a little bit a mix of like anxiety and OCD behaviors. But my intrusive thoughts, I thought that those defined me. I thought that those like were important things to think about. The same way that I talk about feelings coming and going, I think you should put more energy into feelings rather than you should thoughts. Thoughts are so random. Thoughts honestly have no basis in reality at all. They just pop up, they come, they go, and you should release them, okay? It's okay to release those thoughts, to let things go, especially if they don't hold any weight with you. Don't give them any weight. Feelings, though, although I do tell you to let them come and go, I do think you should process those a little bit more. Thoughts are so random and sporadic that it's okay if something doesn't make sense. Keep it pushing, keep it moving on, especially when in your heart it doesn't make sense as well, and the feelings it doesn't make sense as well. It's just overwhelming you. If it causes peace, if it makes you feel a little bit more calm, a little bit more understanding, that's intuition. I had to go through this kind of thought process when I was thinking about, like, what do I want to do? I can't do this restaurant job anymore. Like, what do I want to do? Okay, tattoo artist. When I started thinking about all the different ideas of who I wanted to become, graphic designer, art director, photographer, all these different artistic paths that I could possibly take, all these careers that I could possibly take, they all caused me anxiety. As soon as I thought about tattooing, I felt an overwhelming sense of peace, even though I knew I had a lot of fucking work to do. And this is the beginning of a very long journey. And sure, there can be a little bit of anxiety behind that. There was a deep understanding in myself that quieted all the voices, and that told me this is the right path. My intuition is telling me that this is the right choice. Listen to your intuition. Don't let your anxiety overcloud your intuition. Release thoughts. It's okay to think something and not give it any weight. Thoughts should not hold weight. There's not a correct thought, but there is correct feelings. Listen to your heart over your head, always. Oh my God, not people talking about Halloween costumes. Y'all, it is, okay, I guess September, October. It's almost September, October. We don't have a lot of time. I have started planning. I have not purchased anything yet, but if you're thinking about purchasing anything, now is the time to do so. I want to do some fun ones, like especially for like cooking reels. I want to dress up and do some fun cooking videos. Halloween wise, I'll probably be out partying. I might go to a rave or something. That's usually what I end up doing. So I like something fun and easy to wear. Just like overall sexy. I'm getting older, so I'm not really in the mood to like go crazy, like body paint, you know what I mean? Maybe for a photo shoot, but like not to be out in public. I'm just tired. So I'm probably going to keep it simple this year. But yes, now is the time to start thinking. I am doing a Halloween confessionals episode where I will be dressed up as a nun, so stay tuned. That'll be so fucking fun. But Halloween costume ideas, let's think. Honestly, I think I'm just going with the classics. I'll probably like buy some sort of Pamela Anderson outfit because I love titties, you know what I mean? I kind of want mine out. Would love to be in latex. That would be super fun. Maybe a Britney Spears outfit. I've been loving her recently and just always, you know what I mean? I'm seeing like we saw a bunch of early 2000s, 2010s resurgences. So I would look at that era and what was popular movie, music, culture wise, and then build an idea off of that. I love that era, that whole like glamour era, especially like the pop star era. And I think it's so easy to build costumes off of that like 2010 pop resurgence. Bro, that Chili's triple dipper is fighting back with a vengeance this morning. I mean, to be fair, I did eat basically a pound block of fried mozzarella cheese, so of course my stomach is in shambles. But my God, I did not think it was going to be this bad. You know what? Worth it. Should I make a mukbang account? I think about this a lot. I really do. I love eating food. I love cooking food, most importantly. If you have any recipes you want to see from me, I made those chili peanut noodles last week. People seem to really enjoy them, so glad you liked it. But also, if there's anything you want to see from me, let me know. DM me. Would absolutely love to make whatever you have in mind. I love new ideas. I love hearing from you guys. Also, I saw this tweet from Swoon, which love her endlessly. That kind of speaks on the sexual protection of yourself as a young person, especially like when you're new to college and you want to kind of whore out a little bit. Like, who cares? But she said, if you're a hoe out of genuine curiosity and passion for the art of love and sex and seduction, you're fine. You'll have a great time. You'll be protected. Honestly, if you're doing it out of like real love and desire and intimacy to connect and create passion together, I think it'll be a safe environment because you're probably setting, boundaries for yourself. You're probably setting ideals for yourself and your partner, and that's important. I also think on the whole sex front, listen, I think I should be a sex therapist. I love sex. I love the idea of sex. I love the idea of intimacy and romance, but I think nowadays the idea of sex has been completely warped, especially by people's young porn rotted brains, where sex is sex. Sex means P and V, V on V, P, P, whatever route you want to take. But we have lost intimacy, and intimacy is so important. No offense, but being sexually desired by so many people, but not romantically desired, is going to give you brain rot, honestly. If you were just desired sexually, it's gonna cause a lot of damage because you need that romance, you need that intimacy, you need non-sexual intimacy, bathing together, washing each other, playing with each other's hair, kissing every inch of them, writing love letters, connecting their moles and freckles to create constellations on their skin, running your hands up and down their thighs, just expressing physical love without it being about sex. Okay, very important. Every single time I see someone involve themselves in sex without intimacy, it makes me want to die. Please, for the love of God, you need to be desired romantically, physically, not just through sex, but intimacy. Okay. And I think that's why a lot of people have a hard time with situationships, because they are lacking that intimacy. They only have the sexual part and they want the intimacy. They desire the intimacy. That is a very normal human desire. We should be desiring intimacy when it comes to sex. We are not getting it, and we feel like we need to fight in order to deserve it. You deserve intimacy with sex no matter what. You do not have to deserve it. You are naturally deserving of it. And if your partner is not giving you that romance and that intimacy before sex, ooh, red flag, red flag, red flag. Please, for the love of God, do it for the passion, do it for the intimacy, do it for the romance. You deserve that kind of love. Oh, I'm tired of the situationships. I think there's a lot to learn from them, but there's a lot to grow from as well. I also, speaking on the porn rot brain and the sexual revolution, but the whole sexual revolution that we saw in the 2010s and 2020s, situationships, casual, friends with benefits stuff, that was for men, by the way. It did not promote female orgasm and heterosexual or men satisfying women at all, or healthy boundaries and consent, or women voicing their own sexual desires and being horny and masturbating. It promoted what men always wanted: uncommitted sex, multiple partners, no expectations put on them, women giving it up and getting naked for them, promoting porn and prostitution, basically women fulfilling male sexual desires and considering it revolutionary because it's different from what their parents did. It's a joke. It's a joke. You are deserving of that romance, that understanding, that intimacy, and you don't have to play the game if you don't fucking want to. I mean, once again, if you're a hoe out of genuine curiosity and passion for the art of love and sex and seduction, you're fine. But also, please protect yourself spiritually, physically, mentally. It's important. And if you don't want to play the whole sexual revolution game where you're not supposed to care, which is so against human nature, then don't. Okay. And I know I've talked about this a lot today, but I feel like when I was young, I wasn't really told that, you can have standards when it comes to sex. I feel like as a woman, I thought I needed to appease. And I mean, that didn't really stem from anything in specifics other than just the whole sexual revolution that happened in the sake of men being wanted and desired and not women. And I wish someone, especially in this situation, me telling you, I'm basically talking to my younger self, I wish someone would have said these things to me, because I would have held myself to way higher standard and probably had way more benefiting experiences. Go out and enjoy, but stay safe, really see the situation for what it is. Someone said, how do edibles affect the mind? You know that audio on TikTok right now? Did you know you have 30 minutes? 30, yes, 30 minutes. That's literally how I feel when I take an edible. As soon as it enters my stomach, it's did you know you have 30 minutes? Did you know you're going to start spiraling in exactly 30 minutes? Here's the thing. When you process weed, in a digestible way, whether it's a drink or an edible or whatever it is, your body processes it a little bit differently, and it does hit quickly and with a vengeance. All right. I don't think it really has any negative effects on the mind unless you take too much. Been there, done that. Ate a whole sheep pan of brownies. And that took me, I immediately went on a tea break from a year after that. So it does have an effect on the mind. It can be very overwhelming. It can be very anxiety inducing, but also I think start small. I love edibles, but only at like a 5 milligram, 2 milligram level. You know, I can't do a 10, 100, 50 milligram edible because I'm going to spiral. That's why I usually just smoke, because I feel like when I digest it, I get a little bit more anxiety because I feel out of control than if I just smoke. But edibles probably are the healthiest way to ingest marijuana, I would say. I don't think they really have a negative effect on the brain, but if you do have a good control of your anxiety and you do take it in small doses, then I do think there is pretty much no awful, horrible negative effect. Now, if you do have an anxiety like condition like I do, then yeah, they can have a negative effect on your brain, especially when it comes to anxiety. Thus, I do not indulge in the edibles as much as I should. How to get back in touch with myself. Okay, so I talked about this on the previous episode about like losing yourself, but recently I did a whole write-up on the Patreon. Come join the Patreon. Love my Patreon girlies, about Virgo season. And then I always do journal prompts every Sunday. And so I did a write-up about Virgo season and included some journal prompts for the week. And the journal prompts this week were a little more list-like. And I think it's a great starting point, especially when you like who the fuck am I? What do I want to become? What kind of steps can I take in my life? Virgos love lists. They love lists. They love organizing. They love starting small and the details, crossing things off lists, things of the such. So for the lists this week, when it comes to Virgo season and kind of understanding what details to take seriously, I included like 5 categories, which was body, mind, spirit, health, wealth. So 5 categories. And then I told them to, bullet point or list underneath all 5 of those categories 1, 2, 3 physical things that you can do in this Virgo season that are like an idealized version of you would inhibit and that you can do today. So like health wise, okay, maybe I'm gonna start doing Pilates. Maybe I'm going to start eating a little bit healthier. Maybe I'm going to simply just go on a walk every day. Very manageable, list activities. Wealth. Maybe I'm going to start creating a budget and saving. Maybe I'm going to cut out, that once a week coffee trip, and I'm going to start making it from home. Maybe I'm going to delete this subscription to Hulu or whatever. Save some money that way. Wealth. Spirit. Maybe I'm going to do a 10-minute meditation a day. Maybe I'm going to do one tarot reading a week. Maybe I'm going to go to church. I don't know what kind of spirit you indulge in, but I think it's important to do these kind of check-ins every once in a while, especially when we're in a very earthy sign and our feet are very deeply planted in the ground. We are very grounded. We are very connected to the self. I think this is a great practice to take, especially when you've maybe lost yourself a little bit, whether it's through a breakup, whether it's through, just changing of times, new beginnings, new starts, completing a cycle and wanting to move forward. I think this is a fantastic practice to take. If you need it written out for you, it is on the Patreon under the Virgo journal prompts section, patreon.com/smokesesshawty. But yeah, just do the 5 categories and you can kind of like spiderweb. What is it called? Oh, I haven't been in like an English class in so long. But you can kind of like thought bubble out of it and just 1 to 3 things. 1 to 3 very manageable things for each category. Spirit, health, wealth. What did I say? Mind, body. Were those the 5 things? Yes. And just 1 to 3 things that you can manageably accomplish within this Virgo season. I guarantee the type A energy is very high right now, and you will accomplish those things if you set your mind to it. And it's a great starting point. I love lists. I love a brain dump, especially for a starting point of like, where do I want to go? Who do I want to become? So great practice. That's your homework for the week. Someone asked, do you think discipline over motivation is true when it comes to stuff like creating? Absolutely. That was one big thing that I learned in college, especially art school. where, you know, maybe I didn't want to create, maybe I didn't want to get up and fucking draw, but you have no choice. Unfortunately, you have no choice. If you want to get better, you have to keep doing it. I also learned this from sports, where it's like, no, I don't want to go to fucking 2-hour 3-hour long soccer practice, but also like consistency is key. You can have motivation, sure, but motivation is only going to get you so far. It needs to be there, of course, or else you're just going to feel like you hate yourself when you're doing something. But if you're doing something you love, whether you want to do it or not, the motivation is still there. It might be hidden deep down, but it's still there. It's going to keep pushing you forward. But when it comes to getting better at things such as like creativity, athleticism, anything in your life, consistency is always key. It is. As long as you're getting up and doing the damn thing, whether it's good or not, you will improve, always. And keeping a sketchbook in college was really hard for me. It was something that I felt like I needed to do something perfect every single time. And once I relinquished that idealized version of myself and just let myself be and create in a space that was safe for me to do so, and it was safe to make mistakes and it was safe to mess up, and like, who cares? Let's just keep pushing. That's when everything changed for me. Because like, who cares? Who cares? You're doing it. That's all that matters. As long as you are doing the thing, showing up every day for yourself, showing up every day to accomplish that dream, you will eventually get there. And it's going to suck sometimes. It is. Unfortunately, sometimes you just don't want to do it. But if you do it, and you do push through that, you know, desire to kind of self-sabotage a little bit, you will get further than anybody else. You will get further than the people who just have talent. Especially in the art world, like, I felt like there were the people with talent, and there were the people with like not motivation, but like consistency, the people who tried. And the people who tried had more of like a understanding in themselves that got them further than the people who simply had talent. Because if you have talent but you don't have motivation, you don't have consistency, you're not going anywhere. But you don't need talent if you have consistency and understanding in yourself, and you just simply try. Trying will get you much, much further than anything else. So if you want to get better at something, simple part is consistency is key. Pilates. If I want to be not as sore as I was those 2 days this week, I need to keep going, unfortunately. I need to keep clocking in. If I want to keep practicing, getting better at tattooing, I need to show up every day and practice. If I want to get better at drawing, I need to show up every day and practice. If I want to get better at cooking, I need to show up every day and simply practice. And not everything's going to work out for you. Don't be a perfectionist. It's going to shut you off from the world. Perfectionism is going to keep you closed off from the world. Allowing yourself to fail but keep moving forward will get you much, much further than anybody with sheer talent, wealth, any of those things that make it easier for you. Belief in self and belief in trying, belief in failing, that will get you further than anything else on this planet. This is a fun question to end off on. I know, last question, I'm so sorry. But someone asked, if a boy says he will change, will he? And this is a fantastic question, because I think a lot of women, a lot of people in general, in relationships with men, find themselves in situations where it's like, you know, I'm really not liking this behavior, and it's not something that I would like in a partner. And if they love me, they'll change, right? I found myself in a relationship where I was being mentally pretty much abused. And the whole time I was telling myself, but if he loved me, he wouldn't do this. If he loved me, he wouldn't do this. If he loved me, he wouldn't do this. And that's true. And every time I would have this conversation with him, I would be like, hey, you can't scream at me. That's just fucking mean and rude. And he'd be like, you're right, babe. I love you. I'll change. But he never did. He kept doing the same things. Oh, but I will. But I am working. Fact of the matter is, if you do not see change happening right in front of you, as soon as they say that shit ain't gonna happen. It's not. It's an easy out. When you don't want to take accountability, it's very easy to be like, but I will change, and then do nothing. If you are not seeing actual change happen in front of you, it never will happen. The fact of the matter is, they don't necessarily need to change for you. I'm sorry, but they don't have to change their behaviors. You sitting around and begging the same person to stop doing the same things that they have been doing their whole life is much harder than just leaving. If it's something that you don't want to happen, if that's a characteristic that you don't want your partner to have, then that means that maybe they're not the right partner for you. And listen, I've been in a long-term, pretty healthy relationship for a while now. And we've had moments where it's like, especially when he met me in a pretty low part of my life where I was pretty addicted to substances, he had to have a couple conversations with me where it's like, I can't be around you when you do these things. And it's sad for me to see. And it's like inferencing, like, I would like you to change. I would like you to be a whole functioning human individual. And I saw those things. And yes, I wanted to change. I wanted to be a better person for my partner. It's possible. But also, as soon as I thought that thing, I immediately started acting in a better way. I immediately saw, okay, I want this to stay. I want my partner to stay. I do need to change. I do need to become a better person. Let me start today. I didn't use it as an excuse of, oh, but I will, please stick around, but I will. I knew if he didn't see, the behavior change, then he wasn't going to fucking stick around. Your partner technically doesn't have to change for you. They don't. We are all humans. We are all the way we are. If they want to be that way, that is ultimately on them. They are allowed to be that way, but you don't have to be there. You don't have to be with that person. If you see a behavior that you don't like, it's okay to say, you know what, I think this is a deal breaker for me. Especially when you communicate and you say, hey, I'm not a fan of this. This is hurting me. It's hurting you, whatever it is. If they say, okay, I hear you, I'll change, you better see real, adequate action within a week. Within a week. It should be instantaneous. You should not keep seeing the same behaviors and forgiving, same behaviors and forgiving, same behaviors and forgiving. If change is going to happen, it's going to happen now. It's not going to happen in 4 months. They should show a desire to change as soon as you say those things. If they actually wanted to change for you, they would. But if you don't see those things, stop forgiving and start leaving. Okay, you can leave. You can leave. At any point, you can leave. I think it's important to understand that, like, you're not entitled to have these people change for you. You're not entitled to, change people's behavior, to have people fit a certain box that makes you happy. We as individuals are all going to behave differently. And a big part of dating is understand, like, what you want and what you don't want. And unfortunately, you're going to date some partners that are going to have characteristics that are not good for you. And the best thing you can do is have that conversation, give them an opportunity for growth. And if you don't see that growth, move on, move forward. There is someone out there that will not treat you that way, that will be kind to you, that won't hurt you, that will want to be a better person for you. Ultimately, the healthiest relationships are two people desiring to be the best versions of themselves for each other. Not only for themselves, but for each other. And if they don't want to be a good person to you, you don't have to be around them. I don't care if you're in a 5-year, 10-year relationship. You don't have to put up with that shit just because you're in proximity to it. You have the option to leave at any point in time. Fact of the matter is, they don't have to change for you. And you trying to force that change on them sometimes is going to push people away. So give them the option to grow. And if they don't, ask yourself, is this something I want to put up with for the rest of my life? Because ultimately, obviously, they're not going to change. Or is this a deal breaker and I need to move forward? Something to think about, because I stuck around for 2 years begging a man to change when in reality, I just needed to leave. Obviously, after the first time, he's not going to change. He's not going to grow. He has not showed progress. He has shown words, but where the fuck are the actions? I don't give a fuck about what you have to say. What are you doing? What's going on behind the words? Are your actions matching your words? If your actions don't match your words, you're a liar. They're lying to you. They're a liar. I don't put up with liars. I wish at a young age I would have stood the fuck up and got out of that relationship sooner rather than later, because it's so easy to be a person in a relationship and be like, but I will, just give me another month, I will change. It's so easy to say, but what are you doing? Are you actually doing the work? And they don't necessarily have to do the work. You're not deserving of the work. Well, I guess you are, but we as humans, we don't necessarily have to change for each other. Sometimes we are who we are, and if that person is not a person that inhibits behaviors desiring of a partner, then maybe they're not a person that you need to have in your life. And it is okay to leave. Once again, it's okay to leave. Oh, but with that being said, I love you all. I hope you have a fantastic week. Thank you for listening to this every week. I love you all. A lot of new joiners. Maybe you're in college and you're lonely and I can keep you a company and safe. Hello. I can give you good advice. Hopefully I can be a friend for you. Maybe when you don't have any, save some girls from some bad boyfriends or some bad situations. That's my only goal. Every time I put out one of these podcast episodes, I'm talking to you, but also like I'm talking to the little version of Hannah in my head that I wish I had some sort of older female in my life to tell me these lessons and to have these hard conversations and to tell them the truth, honestly. So I'm glad I can be here for you guys every week, and I hope you take something from this episode and every episode before in order to grow and develop and become that beautiful, amazing, wonderful person that I know you are. I know you are. I know you're sexy and hot and so cute and so deserving of love and romance and intimacy and fun. You are deserving of that. Believe it. Write your own narrative. Create the life you want to live through your words, through your actions, through your ideas. You can write however you want to live. Once again, like Cher said, some people just have more imagination than others. So dream, desire, grow, change, do what you need to do. It's all up to you. And you are strong enough to create whatever you want. Love you all so much. Stay hot, stay sexy, stay safe, stay sane. And I will see you all very soon. Mwah.